Hi, my name is Mina, as they said, and the name of my talk is Comedian or a Businessman, or in English, Comedian and Businessman. One of the main reasons why I came here and chose to do this talk is to put on this headset. It's very cool. Everyone putting on this headset is going to say something very important. You guys have that feeling, right? So I will start by telling my story. I am a pharmacist, and I work as a trainer and a sales and training manager, and I'm a stand-up comedian. I was introduced to pharmacy by my father. He's right there. Let's give him a clap. Let's give my dad. I was raised in a very democratic household. My dad always used to say, guys, follow your passion, live your dreams, do what you want to do. But at the end, choose between two things, pharmacy or doctor, no other options. It was a very democratic household. Second thing my dad did, my dad wrote my first joke for me. I'm a stand-up comedian, and my first joke is, my dad used to work in a pharmaceutical company, and he had the right to name medicines. There's a medicine that is a true story that's present in all pharmacies. It's called Mina Selim. Does anyone know that? Heard of that? You know what it's not? Delboos. And it treats diarrhea. So this is where my first joke was introduced by my dad. Let's give another clap because it's his birthday. Okay, so my talk is comedian or the businessman. Sorry. Yeah, it's working. Okay, I'm going to talk about something I think that a lot of you is challenged with now, is the family plan route versus the other route. I think it's Egyptian culture that if your dad's a cop, you're a cop. I think it's something that a lot of you are like, have this going on. So I've done both things. I've walked through this route and I've chosen my own thing too. So I want to talk to you about what's good about these things. Number one, I need you guys to understand that for you now, the gap is a lot bigger than it used to be when we were growing up. Like when I was growing up, yeah, I joke about it, my dad wanted to be a pharmacist, but I think we were all like, it was okay, pharmacy was cool back then. But now, I think parents still want their kids to be engineers and kids want to do two things. Does anyone know the two things everyone wants to do now? There's a content creator, and an entrepreneur, right? And that's great, and I'm doing these things, and these are great, but that's not forever. Number two, be aware of the gap, ensure goodwill. If someone is telling you to go this way, I think the thing you must present is, if you don't like this way, present another option, another valid, logical option. Because I think a lot of us don't know what you want, but you just don't want that, because it's been planned out. You don't want to do that. So I applaud that, but on the other hand, find out what you want and go with that. Yeah, nothing is lost. I'm now more passionate about stand-up comedy and training and stuff like and writing ads, but everything that I've walked through in my life has helped me to do this. I've learned that I have a special connection with people, and what I like is talking to people in the company, in the pharmaceutical company. I was in charge of training. And if you guys, is anyone planning to be a pharmacist or doing pharmacy, when you train people about medicine, it's the most boring thing on earth. So I try to make that fun, I try to make that cool. And while doing that, I learned that my connection is with people. So, and from then, started to do stand-up comedy, started to do other things. One other thing. One more thing about the plan that was planned for me is like, when I was growing up, it was the smartest decision to be done that every pharmacist can have a license of pharmacy in Canada. Actually, they pay with dollars. Dollars كتيرة. So I walked through this thing too. I'm not using it now, but a lot of that taught me. Doing stuff that's even if you don't find out what your plan is, going through and achieving stuff is positive, even if you don't know what you actually want to do. My take, I'm just telling you my 2 cents on the plan route. I think if you know what you want, go for it and go for it wholeheartedly. But if you don't know what you want, I think you should map out like what has been given to you and think about it. Number 2, nothing is lost. Everything you learn helps you in other things. So now I've worked 15 years in sales of medical field. When I go to sell an ad to a company, I use these selling skills. I've done training, everything is connected. So I think go with what you have, and this is my take on the plan route versus what you want to do. There's something called, when I was engaged, I used to like try to act cool in front of my wife and show off with the things I do. I tried to tell her a lot of things. I'm a pharmacist, I'm a comedian, I do, I've been in Canada. I'm not that good looking, so this is almost my way of impressing her. So what she said, what she did back then, this is actually true. She sent me a TED talk that is called Being a Multipotentialite. Multipotentialite. Some people they can't analyze together. I was like that. You couldn't answer clearly. The question is, what do you want when you grow up? I didn't know the answer to that question. I get touched and I get excited about many things. I go into this thing and I'm wholeheartedly in it, and then the next thing. So this is a multipotentialite. It's someone that has a lot of passion. Something like this guy over there. He's a singing doctor. So I think people, like, if anyone is like that, they're going to connect with me, because like you don't want to be one thing. There's a lot of things that gets your juices going. So if you're that person, I think you should follow that and go with that. Started with impressing. I started the multipotentialite. She sent me a TED talk. So, but the problem is, if you're that person, I think at some point you find yourself, it's still a mold. You don't know what you are anymore. Like, and one of my birthdays, there's a sad story, but it's true. I think it was my 20th Haga birthday. I was like, when birthdays come, you try to, like, what have I done in my life? And I think my answer, what am I? It's a negative story, but it happened. I'm a lot of things, yet I am nothing. What does that mean? I'm doing a lot of things, but none of them is like where it's supposed to be. None of them is like fully, like, I know this is the finished product. But if you persevere with that, you find multipotentialites tend to do stuff that not a lot of people can do. I do training, and I do a lot of training using stand-up comedy. I have a product called the Edutainer, which is teaching through comedy. So when you do a lot of things, it tends to click at the end to what you want to do. So what I'm telling you is, if anyone here has a lot of potentials, go for all of them. And one more thing, I think you guys know, there's time to do a lot of things. Life is not as busy as you think it is. There's time to do a lot of things. You can do this, you can do that, and especially in this generation, I think you guys are a lot more evolved than I was at your age. At your age, I was thinking about two things, cochina and girls. You guys, I think, are more evolved than we were back in our day. So if you're aware of what you want to do, I think you should start doing it now. And if you have a lot of passions, go after all of them. This is my experience. Maybe it's not for you, but for me, I think you should go after all your passions. Passion versus logic. A lot of people have passions. They want to do something. They want to sing. They want to dance. They want to cook. They want to do a lot of things. And then it comes to the decision of, where's this going? What is this good enough? Am I going to do it? How can you decide how to go? In my opinion, I think I was told by someone very wise 10 years ago, write what you want to be in three sentences. And for me, these 3 sentences were, number 1, family man. I have 2 kids, but before I had them, this was like something that I was more passionate about that than anything else. Number 2, used to be businessman. Number 3, used to be comedian. Now they shifted. I'm more of a comedian than I am a businessman. But a lot of my decisions are very clear when I put the family thing first. Like, I don't know, I've lived some time in Canada, and I have the pharmacy license there. I love living in Egypt. Egypt is the best place for me. But I always know that if something happens, if stuff is not safe, I'm not doing that good financially for the family, whatever, if the family is my first option, then my passion will drive me logically. I don't know if that makes any sense. If you are clear about who you are and what your priorities are, it's very easy to make decisions, and even to make passionate and logical decisions, because I am more passionate about my family than about whatever I want to do. So my decision-making process between passion and logic, this balance thing, it's very easy to adjust it, in my opinion, if you're very clear about what's your number 1 thing, what's your number 2 thing, what's your number 3 thing. Number 2. Can you be logical about your passion? What does that mean? If your passion is you want to be a drummer, if your passion is you want to be a singer, a cook, you want to work with shoes, you want to work with closets, whatever it is, I think you're pretty aware there's a difference between 2 things. One thing is being out there in front of the right people and getting the break, and number 2 is being good at what you aim to do. What does that mean? If I am an aspiring stand-up comic, okay, and I've done 10 shows, 20 shows, 30 shows, if I'm not good at it, I think it's going to be very obvious to me. So I think being logical about your passion comes from knowing, can you do this thing that you want to do? Because passion and ability are different things. So I think being logical about your passion is something that is very dear to my heart, and I believe in it wholeheartedly, because I can't be a soccer player for obvious reasons. So if I'm passionate about soccer, I can't be a soccer player. And if I want to try it out, and I think I can do it, I'm going to go and I'm going to lose 10-0, and then it's going to make sense. I'm not good as a soccer player. Number 2, and to me, what is the next level? I'm going to say 3 things about what is the next level to me. The first time, I forgot to say this, the first time I was introduced to the concept of the next level is when I was doing training in the pharmaceutical company. Because at the first time in my life, work was fun. I was getting paid for something I like to do. So in that moment, for me, this is one of the things that is the next level to me, is to be able to do something that you like and it's a job. This is something that is very, 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 to me, pleasing. So to be logical about your passion, you have to understand, is it possible, or you can have to dream. People dream, achievers dream. But I think you should be logical about your passion. Your passion doesn't have to be cool. What does that mean? Everyone, I'm a pharmacist, I've probably, not sure, but probably throughout my life, I've given someone a medicine that saved their life. So, probably, not sure, it's probably I. But no one took a selfie with me for being a pharmacist. I've been taking selfies for being a comic, and I love comedy, and comedy has helped me through a lot of things in my life, but no one said, thank you, Mr. Pharmacist, you saved my life. No one does that. So, for society, being a stand-up comic is a lot cooler, right? But that does not mean that if that's not my passion. Some people's passion is to design the best shoes, to do closets, whatever you want. So I think don't be peer pressured to find the passion that makes money or that is cool. You understand? It's very important. If you see someone on stage acting, and then you're very amazed by acting, and you think it's good, it brings fame and brings money, if that's not within you, don't go after a passion because it's cool. Go after a passion because you can't rest without. For me, like comedy, it's like, I can't rest without, give me a mic and give me people. This is what I want in my life. Just give me a mic and give me people and I'm good. Okay? So if this is not something that is moving you inside all the time, then don't go after that. Okay? What is it? There's one slide that died. Yeah. The cost of following your dreams. What is the cost? Most of you are young and you're going into the stage of like, we're going to have relations and being engaged. Inshallah. There's a saying that says, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Are you guys familiar with that phrase? It's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Some people disagree with that because if you never love, you're never going to get hurt. Same thing happens with passion. If your passion is comedy, whatever your passion is, if you go after that, it's going to give you happiness if you achieve it, and it's going to give you sadness, the same thing as you're breaking up with a girl. It's totally different than getting fired from a job that you're just doing to pay the bills. So there's a lot of putting yourself out there when you're following your passion. This is a very, I think, in my opinion, in my experience, this is the hardest cost of going after your passion. Number two, it's like you're building, when you're doing something passionate that only you can see it, it's like you're building Noah's Ark. Prophet Noah was building a boat, and people go, what are you doing? There's no rain, what are you doing? What are you building? He had a vision, but he was told from God, this is a different thing, but only him know that doing this ship is life-saving. If he doesn't do this ship, his life's going to be destroyed. So when you're doing a passion, not everyone around you, even the people that care for you the most, don't see it. People don't see it. It's not that clear because no one sees the whole vision. People are very familiar with you. Like if you want to say, I want to have the biggest company. Maybe the people that are familiar with you, they didn't see the transformation. They still see you as younger than you actually are. They didn't see how evolved you became. So one more cost of following your dreams, it's like you're building Noah's Ark. Number three, there's a social cost. Sometimes you have to get away from some outings, don't go to trips, you do stuff that's maybe go start if you like. I'm kind of established in the pharmaceutical world, but you go start from the top, from the bottom. When you do comedy, when you do acting, you take another step down. There's a cost for that. Number four, I'm going to tell you a story. I've been told about this TED Talk 2 months ago, and I know I'm supposed to be sending positive messages and stuff like that. But to be true, when did I prepare my material? It was 30% yesterday night. And Salma, thank you, because I've sent her 20 presentations. I keep changing them in the car right now. So, what I want to say about this unforced discipline is so hard. If you're in a job and someone is yelling at you and telling you to do this, or you're going to get a pay cut, you're never going to get a raise, whatever it is, the form of forced discipline, it's a lot easier than unforced discipline. When it's your passion and when it's your dream, no one's going to push you. So I think one of the hardest things about following your passion is that you have to push yourself, which is very, very hard. So these to me are the real costs of following your dreams. But if you follow your dream and it starts paying down, like money that comes from comedy, even if it's less, it's so rewarding. The things you like to do are a lot more. You get happiness, the same thing as love. It gives you the hurt and the happiness, same thing as love. I say, go full-heartedly for it. But this is my experience. It's not easy because of these things. Okay? I believe in any, like when I was sitting there, and I kind of start buying into what the person was saying, I like to take something away from with me. In my opinion, I like to say, these are 3 lessons that I've learned in my life and I want to share. If you want to take it, do it. If not, it's okay. So, but these are things that if I wanted to know and understand fully a lot earlier, because these things are very important to me. Number 1, success, significance, happiness are equal to a different thing. One more time. Success, significance, happiness are not related. Not every successful person is significant. Not every successful person is happy. What is success? I think I'm saying success being the manager, making a lot of money, having a lot of followers. This is totally different than significance. Significance comes when you do something that benefits you and the people around you. I'm a parent. Parenthood is very significant. But I'm going to tell you a story. I love my son, but I would rather have a part-time relationship with him. Like Saturday and Sunday, parent, Monday, Tuesday, PlayStation. Very cool. And there's something about us guys, it's like, actually, even today, when I'm driving home, all I'm thinking about my head is when my son is 2 years and 10 months, the old one. If he comes running to me and gives me a high five, it's very interesting. And when I'm driving home, I want to meet him, but 5 minutes after, khalas bro, it's boring. We did the high five, khalas, it's done. Khalas bro. Everyone can do this, it's not a big deal. But parenthood is very significant. Significance comes from doing something that touches you and other people. And I think when you do something significant can be, like when in your job, you should look, like take a step back and see how is this job benefiting people around you, benefiting your family, benefiting, even if it's bringing laughter, if it's teaching something, if it's giving medicine, if it's designing good shoes, but there's a benefit. People's lives are better because of your job. And in my opinion, this is significance. Significance gives happiness. Success gives fear. Worldly success. I mean, like, if you have a lot of followers, you don't want to lose them. If you have a lot of money, you don't want to lose them. Nothing wrong with money, but I'm just saying, can you tell the difference? Success, one last time, because I believe that this can change. I try to stress that. I don't live with it all my life, but I think if we learn that success, significance, and happiness are different, it's going to help us a lot. Number 2, free yourself from people. It's very hard. Everyone preaches about your own thing, don't think about people. It's very hard for you guys, because we're now living in a time where people's attention is quantified. You can tell, you can put a number on how many people like my pictures, and defining how many people think I'm beautiful. If I'm doing a video, the number of likes can tell me how funny I am. So it's very, I've been taught a lesson when I did a couple of videos last year with the TV channel for Ramadan. And when you do stuff like that, you get comments like, "You're the funniest person on earth," and you guys know the other comments. "You're the scum of," I don't want to say, it's berating. So a friend of mine told me that really early on you have to distance yourself away from both, because if you go into the only positive comments, you're going to lose it. If you go into only the negative comments, you're going to lose it too. So I think you should free yourself, and one thing that is very, very hard for this generation is to free yourself from comparisons. When you were growing up, the worst thing can happen is my mom saying, "Shuf ibn ammuk amil eeh." But now, there's 100 ibn ammuk on your phone. It's very hard for you guys. It's very hard. So, but I think early on, if you get yourself away from these 2 shackles, you're going to live like a much happier life. Because when you look at this, you're doing 2 things. It's telling you what's your value and where do you rank compared to other people, which is lethal. It's very hard. Sometimes I fall into it, but I think you need to help with this idea. Number 3, don't fight your uniqueness. The next level to me is to own one thing that I believe is the next level, is to be yourself. If you're not yourself, if you're not doing something that represents you, you're not happy. So don't fight your uniqueness, even if your uniqueness is uncool, doesn't pay a lot, it'll pay a lot eventually. Don't fight your uniqueness. And one last lesson, if you ever have a kid and you're in a place of authority and you can name medicines, please don't call the Mina Selim. Thank you very much. This was my time. Thank you very much.